and my name is Azra. So that's on top of the screen. I've been working on BI for last 8-9 years now. I've been doing data warehousing as well as business intelligence implementation. So I've been working on Qlikview for last 6-7 years as of now. Done on various versions of Qlikview, implemented a couple of projects. I've also done implementations on the QlikSense part of it, which is the latest product out of Qlikview, which is not very different from Qlikview. It is exactly similar as Qlikview, but with enhanced visualizations and a little more capabilities. So this is my brief introduction. So the BI space has evolved, right? So I'm sure if you have already done research on what Qlikview is and what the business intelligence or like landscape is, or what are the products available in the market. So earlier it was all stacked based reporting, or even like couple of years, or even few of the solutions as of now, present solutions are highly dependent on IT department. So when the moment you tell a BI solution, everybody thinks it's an IT department solution or it's an IT department product. So IT team gets it, IT team manages it, IT team develops it, and the end user, so your business user who is the consumer of data, has to depend on IT department. So he has to give them requirements, they have to share the logic, they have to share they have to share the scenario, the use cases, the data points, and IT team just puts together the way they want to, and they present it to the user. Again, the user has challenges understanding it. Again, there is a to and fro, which delays the entire business decision. So that's what Qlikview actually changed. But what it did was it empowered the end user and business user to do a lot of analysis by himself. Now, analysis is not exactly building solutions for himself. So still the IT department builds the solution. Like you as Qlikview developers, you'd end up building a couple of dashboards, couple of data models, couple of UI for the end user. Now the end user will just use the UI or the dashboard or the data model and do analysis on it. When I say analysis, he will be able to see data in multiple point of views. He can change the way he wants. He can add logic. He can create new charts, he can create new graphs, create new analysis. So that's the self-service part of it, where the end user is empowered. He does not have to fall back on IT department to change a small formula or change any larger data set or the way the data is being presented. He can do it himself. So that's where the business user comes in. As a Qlikview developer or a QlikSense developer, you'd be falling between IT and business user. I would not say your job role as a Qlikview developer or a user will be IT department role. You're not. If you choose to become a Qlikview or QlikSense developer, you would not be a software developer. I would say you'd be more like an intermediate BA, who has good IT, who would be having the IT knowledge as well as the business knowledge, and would be merging it. So that's the kind of role that Qlikview has created in the market, right? So your mindset should not be that this is a software job for you. It should be that you are doing a business job and you just have IT knowledge and you're building solutions out of it. So you'll be more towards business and a little towards IT. And like I said, you'll be in between these two things. Now, Qlikview or QlikSense can connect to any data source, get the data. So the IT department governs the entire deployment. It governs what data sources are being connected, who are the users who are getting access. So the governance bit still remains with the IT team, who would control it, how to deploy it, where to deploy it, how to give access. But the end users or the business developers get the free hand to do what they want to do. Well, Qlikview as a platform is very simple. So you have the data access layer where you can have any set of databases, any kind of database is okay. So Qlikview can connect to any data source, be it Hadoop, be it MongoDB, be it SAP, be it HANA, or any other ERP solution that you have. Even if you have a legacy system, you can connect using Qlikview. You can build custom connectors to that legacy system and connect it. As a platform, it is very simple. You have the Qlikview server and the Qlikview publisher, which are very core to the deployment. Now this deployment is basically for done on a physical Windows machine, and the users connect to this through a browser. So that it's a pretty simple installation. There are no complex settings or anything. It's straightforward. Now, whatever you do as a developer or as a designer, right, you'd be creating a Qlikview file, which is called as a QEW. That file would be put onto the Qlikview server, and the server will act as a hosting machine, which will host this file, and the end users connect through any browser. Now, the advantage over here is there's no native client that has to be installed on any browser or any machine. User can directly connect to the server without any plugin or anything and start using it, and it's a HTML5 compatible browser, so that allows you to connect through any device, be it desktop, be it any handheld device. Now the server and the publisher both are managed by a Qlikview management console. This management console again is a browser-based console which allows you to change the settings, configure the server, and manage all the tasks and all of those things. Qlikview as such can quickly integrate to any of your security mechanisms, like your existing Active Directories or any other third-party solutions that an organization has, can quickly integrate into that and do a lot of things around that. Now, this architecture is pretty much similar to QlikSense also. So the idea of stressing on QlikSense is, while we would be going through Qlikview with 70% of our training concentration, we would also give you an overview of how QlikSense works, because that's the latest solution. The advantage over here is whatever you learn for Qlikview training is ditto applicable for QlikSense also. There is nothing that you need to learn extra or change anything. So there are a couple of visualizations that work differently. Maybe that if you understand, I think the rest you will be able to do it yourself. So the QlikSense architecture also looks similar. I don't have a separate slide, but it more or less looks similar. You have instead of a Qlikview server, you will have a QlikSense server, and all the development and the usage will be through browser. The development cycle or the development life cycle of Qlikview projects is basically, as a developer or a content creator, you will create content connecting to databases, creating UI, creating data model, creating information. You put that to the servers, which is either Qlikview or QlikSense servers, and on the server there is a publisher which manages all of the tasks, all of the scheduling, all of the reloading, and you have, on a Qlikview server, you have a Qlikview access point. On a QlikSense, you have a hub where you basically these applications would be loaded, and it's a web server that will allow the users to connect and consume content. So like I said, users can be through any plugin or any device anywhere. And of course, it can be completely governed by the existing security mechanisms in the organization. Any questions still here on any of these slides? I'm audible, right?
Yeah, no problem.
Actually, in Qlikview or QlikSense, there are three kinds of job roles that look at. One is IT team, one is developer, and another is designer. So IT team is basically whoever takes care of the installation, data connection, administration, all of these things. A developer is a person who works more with data, creating data model, creating UI, scripting, all of these things. And designer is the front end part where you create charts, you create graphs, all of these things. As a Qlikview developer, you would be required to know the developer and designer both. When you present yourself in the market as a Qlikview developer, the main expectation is you should know all the parts of the developer and all the parts of the designer. IT team is, again, like I said, it's a very specific job role which generally is managed by the IT team. This is not really dependent on any Qlikview developer or anything. So our training is more concentrating on developer and designer. And like I said, though this training would be concentrating more on Qlikview, so end of it, I would show you how you could leverage all the learnings into QlikSense. So it is no big difference. So technically, my training would be more on developer and designer. To give you a brief overview, this is the developer training. curriculum. So the training methodology is every day 1 hour. I would be starting from the scratch. There's no prerequisites of any knowledge or anything that you need. If you have worked on any solution or any scripting, that is great. If you understand SQL, that would be even more great because you'd faster pick it up. But like I said, I would be starting from the scratch. So basically how you would connect through databases, create script, what are the script logics, what are the different concepts. All of these things I would be covering during the training. These topics are specific to Qlikview, but yeah, most of them are very similar to SQL because the scripting in Qlikview is more modified SQL. When I say modified SQL, it's just that there are a couple of functions extra in Qlikview which will enable you to do a lot of things very easily. So that's the idea of this of modified SQL. Otherwise, all the concepts, all the methods, all the procedures and processes remain same as SQL Server. So there's no prerequisites as such to know any language or know any programming skill. These are the topics. I would be mainly concentrating on developer and designer. And this is the designer part of it. Both put together is around 30 days, 30 odd days of training session, like a 30 hours training session. So it can be more or less depending on how our training session move forwards. So if you understand things quickly, then we might take lesser time to cover. If there are any like discussions and the training extends, maybe plus or minus 2-3 days here there for 30 hours.
Okay.
So let's just quickly understand a couple of things about Qlikview. So this is more part of 1 or 2 topics in Qlikview. So basically, let's see how much I can do it now. So in Qlikview, there are a couple of file types, right? One is QEW, QV, QVX, and QVS. There are 4 file types. QEW is the main file type. This is whatever you do in Qlikview. Anything and everything is done on QEW. So this file contains the script, the data model, and it will also contain data. So the idea of this file is, this is the file that is going to go in the memory. This is the file that the users are going to access through the access point or or online. And whatever you do, everything will be done in Qlikview. Even scripting, even data modeling, even the UI, the interface. When you move this file, the file will also carry data in it. So once this file loads, extracts the data from the data source, it will also carry data in it. It's more or less like a file stored anywhere. So it can be open. It will also have the security mechanism built within it. So this is the main file that can be utilized, and this is the file that will be used. QVD is a data storage file format. This is used for just to store data. You can do nothing else with QVD. It's a highly compressed storage format. It almost compresses 1:10 times of data. So when I say that if your data is 10 GB, right, when you store it into QVD, it will be around 1 GB kind of compressed data. It is highly optimized with a QEW. So whenever you are working with a QEW, if you load data from a QED into a QEW, it will be the most fastest because it's very optimized and it can read millions of records in seconds. The best or the sad part of QED is it can be read or created by QEW. Like I said, anything you do in Qlikview is on a QEW. There is nothing else available to do anything in Qlikview. So even to create a QED, you'll have to use a QEW. So yeah, during our architecture session, you'll understand how and why, how this works. So my training also will include the first one session. We would be discussing of various deployment architectures, how you deploy Qlikview, how you deploy QlikSense, and what are the different app building methods or what you do. So that will give you an overall deployment perspective as to how you deploy Qlikview or how you architect the entire application or the entire solution. Then you have QVX. It's again a data storage file format like QED. QED and QVX are ditto, but the advantage in QVX is it can be created by third party. The idea is QED was restricted earlier, so that's how later a QVX file format came back. So when I say third-party solutions like Teradata Informatica, right, they have plugins who can pump data. So those are ETL solutions. They can directly create a QVX file. Now a QVX file can directly be used in Qlikview. It is a lot more advantageous. When we are doing again the architecture session, you will understand why it is advantageous. How it can help you optimize or speed up your development process. Then we have QVS, it's Qlikview script file. This is basically a script file for storing script, common script, recurring script, right? I mean, in any solution, you should have reusability. So it can't be like you have to write script for everything again and again, right? You need to have reusability of script into multiple things. So that's what this Qlikview script file does. It is more or less like a text file. It is stored. It's just that the extension is .qvx. It's a text file. QED and QVX both are flat files. Okay. They are stored on your desktop. They need no, when I say desktop, the machine or the server, any Windows folder I'm talking about. They don't need any database or any license or anything. So these are flat files. You can store it. You can store n number of data into it. There's no limitation as to the data size. There's no limitation as to number of records. You can create multiple QEDs. Using QEDs and QVX, right, you can actually replicate the entire data warehouse itself. So in a data warehouse, you'll have a database. Within a database, you'll have multiple tables, right? So here, there's no database. You can have multiple tables stored into individual QEDs. So one QED can store one table only. So like that, you can create multiple QEDs that will end up being like multiple tables, and you can structure the entire data warehouse around. That we'll see again, like I said, in the architecture discussion. This was Qlikview. Now in QlikSense, the only difference in Qlikview and QlikSense is in QlikSense, you will have QVF file. Okay, so QlikSense file, sorry. This is the main file in QlikSense, and whatever you do, you'd be working in this file. So in Qlikview, it is QEW. In QlikSense, it is QVF. Now the QVX, QVS, and QED are kind of common between both the solutions. So there is no separate QED format or QVX format for QlikSense. It's the same format as the Qlikview files. You can interuse them, or kind of both can use the same resources. So there is no difference, or there is nothing new that is required into the solution. Any questions here?
I also read somewhere the Qlikview did bought end printing as well. So is this something, can you also throw some light on that end printing?
Yeah. So end printing is basically an like a static reporting process. So whatever you build in QEW, right? Suppose you have built 10 charts in QEW. So you would have built a dashboard in QEW, right? When I say dashboard, multiple charts, multiple graphs, and multiple reports. Now what happens is, anybody who needs to access it will have to come to the browser and access it. Now, not every time everybody wants to come to the browser, They just want static report out of the application. They want a report with a couple of charts in a PDF format or Excel format or like PowerPoint format or Word format. So they just want every day a report out of the dashboard. So what N-printing does is it allows you to create those reports. You can use the final QEW file that you create for a project, pick and choose the charts and graphs from there, create PDF reports, Excel reports, PowerPoint reports. Then there is also PDF reports, and one more format is a HTML format. So like 4 or 5 formats you can create in different formats a report and publish it to multiple people. So you can send it out to 1,000, 2,000 recipients, the standard static report. It's basically used for static reporting where users don't need access to Qlikview. They don't want to log in, they don't want to do anything. They can have direct access and they can work it out.
So is this something you're also showing on N-printing, like you showing us on ClickSense, like at the end of the course?
Yeah, so N-printing is a very big topic and it's a little completely different for what. We have a separate training session for N-printing and server administration. So this is developer and designer part of it. So this covers everything with respect to developer and designing. N-printing is a separate topic. We have a separate session, and server is a separate topic. We have a separate session for it.
Okay, so you won't be showing us basic on a server, like administration part, giving access or scheduling the reports, publishing the reports or something like that. It's not
I will be taking. I would be covering how you could do it, but yeah, demonstration I would not be able to give it during this session. So, but I would share documents as to how you could do it, like a rough manual, and give you a fair understanding as to how you could do it.
Okay, so but N-printing, you have N-printing, but that's something different, not related to this.
Yeah, it's not involved in this training session. It's a different training session.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I got it. Yeah.
All right. To quickly understand, this is the Qlikview desktop client. So a Qlikview desktop client is a free edition, again available online. So the only difference between a licensed and a free edition is, in a free edition, whatever you create for yourself. What I mean is, if somebody else creates a file and sends it to you, a QEW file, you will not be able to open in a personal edition, because that file or personal edition is for you to create unlimited documents and use it on your system. Well, if you create a document, QEW, and send it to a person who has a license, he will be able to open it. So there's no kind of complete lockdown. Only thing is, you will, as a free or a personal edition user, you will not be able to open documents created by other users. Apart from that restriction, all the functionality remains the same. There's no limitation or there's no limited functions or anything. You can, it's as good as a production client only. So once you get the license, just apply the license and you'll be able to access all the documents that you were not able to access with the free edition. To quickly launch it, so this is a Qlikview file. I can save this file into a specific folder. So this forms a Qlikview.qew file. So if you see on top, along with the path, it says demo.qew. So this is the QEW I'm talking about. So whatever you do it within this QEW. So if you right click, you can see all the chart objects and all the sheets, all the tabs and all. So here charts, all of these things. If you have to create these charts and all, you need data first in the file. For that, we go to the script editor, file, edit script. This is the script editor where you write the script. Like I said, it's more modified SQL. So you see, like the set statements is similar to the SQL statement. You don't have to really write all the script, right? So the advantage in Qlikview is most of it is created by wizards. So for everything you have a wizard to connect to data to create the script. The scripts are automatically created. Only thing you will have to do is whenever you want to modify or enhance or do any transformation, you'll have to write the script. So that will be very small compared to what you would have to do it. For example, if I want to connect to a SQL server, I will use a ODBC connection. I'll take you through the details of this during the training session. Just for the demo, select the ODBC, say connect. It will give you the Qlikview server options, which one you want. I have so many DSNs, I can pick any one of this and pass my credentials. Right. Qlikview will quickly create a string. Now this is what I was talking about. So this step is the only difference between different databases. So people, I mean, you would have thought process, right? How do I connect to, what is the difference between connecting to a SQL and a SAP server? This is the only difference, the way you pass the credentials and the way this string is created. Now, after this is created, the next steps that follow are same across all the databases. So the next step is, once you create a connection string, select. So this step is common for everything, and from here, whatever you do is common across all the databases. You don't really have to worry that how it would be different, or is it different for every database. Once I do the select, it will basically select the DB and provide all the tables that are available in the DB. So this database tables is something that, or these are the tables that are there in the SQL server. Now I can quickly select any table. For example, let's start with sales order header, and I can select the fields that I want to load. So I'll just select these fields. I won't select those two fields, and I say add. Okay. So if you see here, my script is automatically created. I didn't have to do anything. The script for select is created. I'll select another table. I don't have to do individually. I can do it at a shot, but just for demonstration, I'm doing it individually. I can pick up sales order detail. Say okay. Now my script is created. I don't have to do anything else. Just save and reload. Alright, so that ODBC connection failed. I'll just change that what system DSN I used. Oh yeah, this ODBC connection is only gone. Let me say connect. Now it's connecting to the database, and from the sales order header table, it brought in 31,000 records. From the sales order detail record, it brought in 1,21,000 records. Now once these records are come in, so if you look at the back end, right, go to File, Table Viewer, the tables are automatically associated. This is the associative property of Qlikview, wherein it links or associates two tables quickly based on the common field names in the table. So you don't really have to worry or kind of link it. Now if these standard linkages or the default links are not right, and you want to change these are called as associations. If you want to change these associations, you can very well do it. So you can break and make associations with different tables. That we'll understand during the training session. When I say okay. Now first step, connect to DB. Second step, get the data. Third step, create UI. That's all. Now I can right click, go to a select a bar chart, and I want to create a territory ID wise sales quantity. I'll just write the formula, sum of order quantity. Finish. Yeah, there are a couple of properties to make it visually appealing or change the visualizations, format it, all of those things. But the main part of creating chart is that's all. Now I just copy paste this, Control C, Control V. I created a copy of this. Go to the properties. I want to flip this chart to a pie chart and change the dimension from territory ID to, let's say, special offer ID. All right. Now again, I'll copy the same chart, copy paste, do it here, properties. I will flip this special offer ID to, let's say, product ID. and I will flip it to a bar chart. I didn't add the. These are the products, and that's the bar. I can flip this to a scatter plot also. Just copy this. Properties, general, select a scatter plot. Product, instead of product, I will use customer IDs. Instead of, one is order quantity, another is unit price discount. And here you go. So you get a fair enough idea of who are the customers who are getting high unit price discount and who have low order quantity. Like this, you can create multiple tabs, multiple fields, and start creating a dashboard. So this, to begin with, this is a small example of a dashboard. Yeah, you can arrange, you can modify, you can color it, you can create different theme, you can give a presentation layout, all of these things. These are the things that you can do. Any questions or doubts here?
Yeah, this anyway, we will be developing this dashboard. So can you show us before we go? Can you show us the finished product what you have developed so that we can see, we can feel the look actually. Yeah.
What I have developed is something that I don't have it, but what all you can do is I can show you the demos. So basically, these are different visualizations that you can do it, right? Sales analysis, what if? I mean, you can have these, I mean, it's not that only I have these. You can go to qlikviewdemos.com, right? Just search for Qlikview demos, whatever you get online. So there's a lot of visualizations that you'll get to understand and get to know, and you can easily understand what you can build also.
No, I'm thinking I'm thinking on the space, because if I take the Excel sheets for example, you have a limited space in that. Like it does not fit to, it does not go with the resolution of the screen basically. Like on a laptop it shows like very small, on a desktop it shows big, like on proper size ways. How about the Qlik? It changes based on the resolution of iPhone or the fonts basically. Like in India the fonts.
So what you're seeing on this screen is what you'll see on your handset or any device, and it will be basically
a same font size basically.
Yes, it will just be zoomed down, that's all. So you zoom in, it will be exactly the same.
Because there we have something called canvas, and the canvas has a limited size of the dashboard, like background, so we can't go beyond that.
Here there is no such restriction. I mean, you could use the space completely, so there is no limitation as such. Like I said, it will just be a zoomed down version on your smaller screen.
Okay, yeah, when we start doing it, then we'll get to.
Yeah, very much. Any questions till here? I think apart from what we discussed.
So this can also pass the parameters, right? To call some other child dashboard or something like that, like from the parent dashboard to child dashboard, or that type of complexity it can handle. I don't know how, but I'm presuming it can handle.
Yeah, very much, very much. That's also called as document chaining. So you can have one summary level document and one detail level document From here, you can
Yes.
call the detail level and you can pass the selection parameters to that.
Yeah, so yeah, that's something I'll definitely be interested by having a session.
Yeah. Right. So this is what I had for the demo.